Verse 6, Ke epistovsen Avram to Theo, and Abraham trusted in God. Here's a word when I ran into it is difficult because the dictionaries have trust and believe synonymous, but yet they tend to mean so much different. You can believe that something's happening or somebody is who they are, but trusting the person is another thing. Just because you believe doesn't mean you trust. And as I went through, I tried to make it all one. It just didn't work because in some places it's obvious the person believed. I mean, Abram believed God. He knew who he was. He had heard from him. But as far as in this place here, the idea of trust was to me more stronger. So I used both of these words. I have the dagger so you can see that you can more or less choose what you would think. I chose trusted. Now, I mentioned in the introduction to the Apostolic Bible that my words are not set in concrete. You can see the Greek words and you may disagree. All translators do, and some people may have translated it and used the word belief. So this is Abram trusted in Theo, God, theology. You can underline that one. Ke elogisti avto is dikiasini, and it was imputed to him for righteousness. Righteousness is a judicial term. Diki, goddess of justice, and it was imputed to him for righteousness. As we go through the Apostolic Bible, we'll be seeing this word righteousness, and the more we see it, the more we'll get an idea on exactly what it is, rather than make a long presentation here trying to explain something. Let's let the word do the explaining. In verse 7, Ipe they prosavton, and he said to him, Ego o theos, o exagagon se, ek horas haldeon. I am the God, and he said to him, I am the God, the one leading you from out of the horas, the place. We have choreography, is map making, the place of the Chaldeans. That's over in Mesopotamia. Oste dhune si tingin tavtin klironomise, so as to give to you this land to inherit. Verse 8, Ipe they despota kyrie, katati genosome oti klironomiso aftin. And he said, Abraham, despota kyrie, how will I know that I will inherit it? Verse 9, Ipe they avto, and he said to him, now here's all these the pronouns, him, and gets to be kind of confusing. He said to him, who is he and who is him? Sometimes the context will tell. Lave me thamalin triatizusan, ke aiga triatizusan, ke krion triatizonta. Take for me a heifer, as a female being 3 years old, and a goat, female being 3 years old, and a ram, male being 3 years old. Ke trigona, ke peristeron, and a turtle dove, and a pigeon. Verse 10, Eleve they avto panta tu tavta, and he took to himself all these. Ke the Elon avta mesa, and he divided them in the middle, Mesa, Mesopotamia, between the two rivers. Ke Ethicon, and put Avta anti prosopa Allelus, of them facing one another. Allelus, we have parallel, allel, something next to each other. Ta de ornea u the ile, but the ornea, ornithology, study of birds, he did not divide. So he didn't divide the birds. And then 11, Kateve they ornea, epi tasomata ta dichotomimata avton. And the birds came down upon the pieces of their bodies. So the pieces, doesn't sound like they came down on the birds because he didn't divide the birds, but anyway, somata, we have somatic is English derivative, pertains to the body. Ke sinakathasan aftis Avram. And Abram sat down with them. So now he has all these animals, dead animals laying in front of him, and the birds have come down. It doesn't say they ate them, so they're like, apparently they're sitting with, they sat down with Abram, and they're all sitting there. In verse 12, Peri the Eliu, these mas ecstasis epepese to Avram. And about the descent of the sun, a change of state, ecstasy, fell upon Abram. And up there, Eliu, we have a helicopter, the hela, sun, has to do with the sun. Helium also. This ecstasy, a change of state, fell upon Abram. Ke idhu, phobos, fear, skotinos, megas, a dark, in the complutensian, has a dimness, a great dark dimness fell upon him. And here it's a fear, phobos. Verse 15, Ker erethi pros Avram, genosi oti parikon este to spermasu in gi uk idea. And it was said to Abram, genoskon, the gnostics, in knowing you will know, and there's a verb, and the noun, genosi, oti, that your sperma, your seed, will be a sojourner in a gi, geology, the derivative, not their idea, their own ideology, idiosyncratic, something to do with own. And ke thulo susin aftus, and they will enslave them. So the seed, now here's a prediction of what happens years later with the children of Israel in Egypt. And so they're going to be sojourners, they're going to go into a land and they'll be enslaved. Prophecy taking place. I'm sure later, hundreds of years later, when Moses, they had these words, this was a prophecy that was coming to pass at that time. And it must have been amazing, because if these Jews were in Egypt for all these hundreds of years and they knew this prophecy, it must have been like us today looking for certain prophecies to come to pass that have to do with the book of Ezekiel in the 38th, 39th chapters. Ke kakosusin aftus, and will afflict them. Kakosusin. Caca is bad. In Spanish, it's dung, and has to do with caca is bad. You say something is bad to a child, caca. Kakosusin will afflict them. Ke tapinosusin aftus, and humble them. Tetrakosia eti, and they will humble them. Tetra is 4, and osia is the 100 years.